being made.
Here we go.
It's being made.
It's like just hit a button.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. 6 a.m. on the 11th of March.
It's my very last day.
It's the eve.
Today is the last day of Kiltz being 69. Dan and I were already talking about it. And I will burst into the world at 70, technically. Well, I guess I'm completing 70 years at 11:20 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow morning. Cheers to all. Welcome. Another beautiful day in paradise.
Another great day to be alive.
It is. It is. Oh, any first information that we have to pass on to all those listening, watching today and in the future, Dr. Nelson?
You want to go over the meetups, Alia?
Yeah, we can do that. First, I want to go over. Let's go over the meetups, but first, let's go over that we have our coaches available, and I want to put that information in the chat. I'll put the link in the chat to sign up for any of our coaches. We've got Leon, Juliet, Rebecca Bavery. We got a lot of good guys. Mary Freed, Karen. We got many more coming on also, but they are ready for you. And if I miss somebody, I'm sorry, my coffee's still working. Now the meetups. So the first meetup, we've got a lot of meetups happening over the next several months, but we have April 4th.
Where can people go to find all the meetups?
KiltzMeetups.com. And
well, can they find it? Can they find it on Dr.Kiltz.com?
You should be able to. Yes.
Where are the new pictures that Lance put up?
Oh, we're getting them up on social media. We're going to use
them. But put them in here too. It'd be really great.
Yeah.
Play with them. Magic.
I will.
Right on.
I gotta show you my favorite picture I've ever seen.
Uh-oh.
Right now.
Am I in trouble, Dan?
Let's see. I'm going to pull it up. All right. So, but let's talk about this. This Friday, there's a Melbourne meetup. That's just RSVP and pay your way. And that's with Dr. Nelson, Mitch, Mike Selly.
Where do they RSVP?
They just go to KiltzMeetups.com.
Right here.
Okay. Good.
RSVP. That's just so that Dr. Nelson, Mike, and Mitch have a head count, but everyone's paying their way on that one. We're not doing tickets. And then Susie Boshoff and Peter Avadia. Oh my God, Dr. Avadia are doing a showing of the cholesterol code on April 6th. You can get tickets there. Dr. Kiltz and Dr. Nelson will also be there. Chris Blandland's having a dinner in Long Island with Miss Meat. Dr. Kiltz and Dr. Nelson will be there. You can get your tickets here. That's an event for Chris Brandlin. Okay.
It's an event for all of us.
It's an event for all of us. Yeah.
It's an event for all of us.
Say who's hosting it?
Right.
It's an event for everybody. Chris Brandlin's hosting it.
Right on. Cool.
Then there's going to be the very next day, a very cool meetup. I wish I would be there, but that's okay. I can go to a different Mets game. It's a Mets game. And then dinner, and then you also get a t-shirt, which is going to be added to this. You get a t-shirt, and that's $125. Includes the t-shirt, game, and dinner. And don't RSVP. I will tell her to take the RSVP off. You want to buy the tickets for this one. If you have RSVP,
well, the RSVP include you have to pay for the tickets.
Yeah.
You're buying it when you RSVP. You're actually paying money at that time. You're buying an RSVP ticket.
That's right. And then right after that, 10 days later, there's an event Dr. Nelson is hosting an Almonte Springs cholesterol coach screening. Is Dave Feldman going to be there? Is that how that works? He goes to them or no?
Don't think so. There might be a way of connecting with him. I have to look into that more.
Okay.
Shirt size.
Where are you going to be, Dr. Kiltz, on April 22nd?
Don't know that answer right this moment. I'll look.
Lewis asked, how did they get their shirt size? It's only 20 people, so I'm gonna, as soon as you buy your ticket, I'll email you.
It would be nice if you have the link, the ticket, and choose your shirt size if that's what they're getting, right?
Yeah,
that's our next level.
That out.
All right, how about we get into Dan's here and share his story.
Great idea.
Everyone's here to listen to more stories because healing humanity is about what, Dan?
Sharing our stories.
Yes, that's the critical part of this.
Daniel Kosek is a retired firefighter and paramedic from Detroit. After facing a stage 4 terminal cancer diagnosis in 2017 and spending 6 years as a vegan, Daniel pivoted to the proper human nutrition in 2023 and never looked back. He's here to help us navigate the lies of modern nutrition, recognize the low-level poisoning of our environment, and share how we reclaim our health eating a baby's diet.
Babies.
Welcome, Daniel. How are you doing
Thank
today?
you. I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having me. I was telling Dr. Kiltz before we came on, I can't believe I'm sitting in this chair where all the people I've binged on over the years here sit and speak their knowledge. And I'm just humbled by that and glad to be here though. So a little bit about myself. First and foremost, I'm a blood-bought follower of Jesus Christ. And I was born in the city of Detroit, raised in the city of Warren, which is right next door. And normal childhood, wonderful childhood of the 60s and 70s. And grew up on Cheerios and Wheaties every morning for breakfast. And sometimes for a treat, we would get Cocoa Krispies or one of the other ones. But even on our Cheerios and Wheaties, we would dump a couple tablespoons of sugar. So it was all about the sugar even back then, you know. But yeah, like I said, normal childhood. Graduated high school in 1975 from a Catholic high school, St. Clement in Centerline, Michigan. And worked in a shop for 6 years, so I'm exposed to some toxins there, oils and whatever. And then I went to firefighting in 1985 and did that for 25 years, retired in 2010. And 7 years into my retirement, I was living the dream, right? And then in the summer of 17, I found a lump on my neck. So they spent all summer trying to diagnose me. I was diagnosed in October of 17 with stage 4 mantle cell lymphoma, which is incurable. So I had the right attitude going in. I didn't let it bother me. I knew the stresses of all this was not good. So my oncologist, who's a standard oncologist, put a port in me in early November 2017. And I had been on the internet, thank God, because I see people that say, whatever you do, don't do Dr. Google. And I always just wonder, like, why would you limit yourself in gathering information and knowledge? So I Dr. Googled like crazy, and I asked my oncologist, is there any clinical trials here? And she said, no, but I think they have one at University of Michigan. She was very quick to dump me over there. Our computer systems are linked. And she said goodbye to me that day, and I never saw her again. And I ended up with who's now a pretty famous guy in the lymphoma world, Dr. Tysel Phillips at U of M. He was my oncologist, and I met with him on December 3rd of 17, and I was planning on being blasted by chemo at Christmas that year. I didn't know how I was going to end up. So the first thing he told me was, "Oh no, we're not gonna chemo you. We're gonna watch and wait." And I asked him, "How long will I last?" He said, "Well, we don't know, but it was 3 to 5 years was the general consensus, but they don't really know." So I wanted to hug the guy because I wasn't going to be blasted by Christmas, and so I went right back to Google and I decided to try the Gerson therapy. So I went down to Mexico in January with my wife, spent 3 weeks in a Gerson clinic, and they taught me how to eat vegan. It was a crazy vegan diet, mine, except for 4 ounces of yogurt a day. It was a very extreme diet if you're familiar with it. And 5 coffee enemas a day. So I did this for 10 months, and I I didn't really like the feel of it. So I decided to just go kind of regular vegan after that. And I kind of moved through several different modalities, Rick Simpson oil, and adding some clean meats like venison and sardines. Well, I got COVID in 21, May of 21, and that just accelerated everything. I felt my lumps get bigger, and by spring of 22, I needed treatment. So, man, I tried keto at one point, but I did it vegan, which was a mistake, because here I'm like eating spoonfuls of coconut oil and eating lettuce, and I ended up in the hospital with dysrhythmias. And so I finally got treated. I did great through the treatment, and I got remission in June of 22. Now they want to follow up with a stem cell transplant, which, if you don't know what that is, that's like chemo on steroids. So, but they pull a little bit of your bone marrow out first, and they save it, and then they take you to the brink of death, and then they put that bone marrow back in you and let it regenerate, and it knocks out any residual disease. So I was researching that, and I found the research told me that it doesn't extend life at all, but it will extend your remission. So I started processing that. Well, to me, that means you're not going to live any longer, but your disease will stay away a little longer. But that must mean it's going to come back harder and faster and kill you at the same time. So I turned that down. So then the rest of the protocol is 3 years of rituximab maintenance. Every 8 weeks, you get hit with this for 18 doses. So I started doing those, and I kept getting infected abscesses all over my body, but mainly in the worst area, pararectal. And I had to have 2 of those relieved with full surgery. And one of them, they lanced in the ER, which was quite barbaric. And I told my doctor I don't want to do it anymore. So they suggested going out to every 16 weeks on that. And we did that for a couple of cycles. And then I got another one. And then I just said, done. So I just broke away from the whole medical system at that point. And I started like looking at more diets with animal products. So I gathered my own venison. So I went on like a modified vegan diet with my own venison and, like I said, some sardines. So,
sounds Mediterranean.
Yeah. So then I kept having heart palpitations. I was constipated without being constipated is the only way I can describe it. So I'm eating all this lettuce and all these big giant crisp wort salads, and it's taken me like an hour to eat each meal. It's taken me hours to prep and gather all this stuff. And when I was going to the bathroom 3 times a day regularly, sometimes 2, sometimes 4. But every morning, my first movement, I couldn't pass it. So I was ending up doing like 8 ounces of a warm tea enema, which I was an expert at enema. So it was no big deal to run some warm tea in me. And then that would get me going. And then I would wonder, like, why am I stopped up? So I turn around and look in the toilet, and there's nothing in there. Like, there's no solid in there. There's nothing but sediment in the bottom of the toilet, like sawdust. And now I know my system was so inflamed, it just wasn't letting this stuff pass. So that was part of my revelation when I did do the carnivore was that. And my heart palpitations in summer of 23, I called my doctor before I went to my regular 1 year. And I said, I want to wear a monitor. Like, I got stuff going on. Like, I'm laying in bed at night throwing PVCs for a half hour before I fall asleep. So I went in, and yeah, sure enough, yeah, you're throwing PVCs, whatever. You got all these dysrhythmias, but nothing too dangerous. But I wasn't comfortable with it. So now I was delving into the carnivore literature, and I'm like, I'm going to do it. So I wound down in December of 23, and December, I wound down in November, and in December 1st, I went full carnivore. And I gotta say, like, day one, it was amazing. I felt I had all this energy. The constipation thing was done. The heart dysrhythmias waned off pretty quick. And I literally felt like Superman. Even with the gut transformation, you know, of course you have a couple weeks of like disruption in that, but things I didn't even know. So within days, I noticed things like I felt like I'm like, man, I feel like my teeth and gums are stronger. Like I couldn't describe it. And then later I find out, oh, that's one of the things that people notice. I noticed my mood. I wasn't getting frustrated with things. Literally, I'd do something and I would stop and say, you know, that used to really frustrate me, but I just kind of laughed it off. I said, that's odd. And then I find out, I hear in a talk a month later, oh yeah, that's one of the things that happens when you go carnivore. So I was shouting it from the rooftops since then, but not a lot of people listen. So I would say the first 3 months, you have cravings. I hit like a downtick. I wanted pizza for 3 months, chocolate for 3 months, but I turned it all down. Like when I started December 1st, my wife makes these awesome chocolate, the little round things. I forget what you call them now, but they used to be my addiction. And I told myself when I started, I go, I'm going to have some of those at Christmas. Christmas came and I'm like, you know what? Nah, I don't really feel like it. So I watched all these cravings disappear over the first 6 months mainly. By summertime, I wasn't really craving the pizza anymore. And I was just riding high on carnivore. And I noticed it was about 15 months in, I started noticing like I wasn't feeling like Superman anymore. So I started paying attention to things. And then through the summer, I'm reading how some people are coming off and consuming, this Aladino thing and whatever. So I tried, it was fall. I had, good garden products available. So I had some tomatoes and whatever with my stuff. And I didn't really solve the problem. So that brings us all the way around to just recently. I just didn't feel like Superman anymore. So I was trying to figure it out. Well, when we went to the meetup in Tampa, I ate a lot of food at the Brazilian steakhouse. So when I came back from that, the next day I was a 2 meal a day guy, 2 big meals a day. So I ate 2 meals on Monday and I'm like, man, I really didn't feel like I needed that food because I ate so much the day before. So I said, Dr. Kiltz is always talking about 1 meal a day. I said, I'm gonna do 1 meal a day. So I went to 1 meal a day. It's only been like 3 weeks. And I did a fast. I did like a 48-hour fast into a 1 meal a day, schedule. And I gotta say, I told my wife, I said, I feel like this 1 meal a day is almost effective as going from regular diet or the diet I was on, which was a decent diet, into carnivore. It had a huge effect on me because I'm an addict. Like I will just eat. I've always been a big eater, and the 1 meal a day really does something to like control that addiction. And then like a week after that, I decided to monitor my fat, ratios. And I found that I was doing a high protein, just eating steak, and burger. It's not enough fat. So I just recently added fat. I mean, I'm picking up beef fat from Detweiler's here in town and adding it to my steak. I'm eating a lot of venison. So I was blessed to I gathered 2 deer last fall and a buddy gave me one. So I got 3 deer to eat off. And so I'm eating a lot of the venison right now, and I'm adding a lot of the, fat to it just to keep my ratios 70 to 80% fat, it's very hard to do. If you're not paying attention to it, you'll never do it. So I got my chronometer out and my food scale, and I'm working all that in my meals now, which is a little, laborsome, but after you do it for a couple of weeks, I'm sure I'll be able to just do it by memory. That's the great thing about this way of eating. It's so easy to pattern your food because there's just not that many products to keep track of. So that's where I am right now. And again, to go from the OMAD to the high fat OMAD has been a huge just benefit, just off the OMAD. So all these different steps are so amazing, and it feeds to my concept that I always believe that you have to keep exploring things, and because there's always something else to learn. So I like trying new things and stumbling upon, beneficial things. And that's one thing that I would try to encourage is basically never stop learning, which is another thing I feel carnivore has blessed me with is a lifetime of not really being school. I was horrible in school. I just didn't like it. And now since going carnivore, I cannot believe how much I want to learn. Like every little subject in that realm, like biology and just music, literature. I just want to learn more about everything. I just started learning Spanish the other day on an app on my phone. And I wonder a lot of times, like, what would have happened if I would have been like this as a child going through school? I probably would have gobbled up all the subjects because everything amazes me now. Like everything. So, and it's frustrating because you try to tell people about this stuff and they look at you like you're insane. And that's where I'm at, as where most carnivores are. They're just trying to affect people in their world, especially their loved ones. And go ahead, Dr. Kiltz.
Are you done?
Yeah. Let's get some back and forth.
Okay. So who's number one in your life, did you say?
Jesus Christ.
Okay. Love and forgiveness, non-judgment, correct?
Yes.
When you're frustrated, who actually are you frustrated at?
Myself.
Okay. Who creates everything?
God.
Does he love you?
Yes.
Completely.
Absolutely.
So the trick is, even though you're frustrated and struggling with all of this and everything always happens perfectly the way God creates it, and we are the lion. And I loved what you said. And yesterday I got some gifts. One was this, Dr. Luther gave me this hook to turn the meat. And then Patrick gave me this beautiful, amazing knife.
Oh, wow.
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 And then I got this beautiful, amazing tomahawk ribeye.
Woo!
Well, and then we got to get more of these, Alia. And these are Healing Humanity for our first meetup in Sarasota. We're having another one next year. But what is wrong with this piece of ribeye?
It's not fatty enough?
They cut away all the fat.
Right.
And when you cook this, most people cook it, what happens to all the fat?
Drips away.
It drips away. It renders the fat away. So our biggest mistake is they've already raised the meat to be leaner. They cut away the fat, even in Detweilers, big time. And ultimately, the real trick is eat the raw fatty meat. And you're right, the fat is where it's at. And everything is happening. Again, let's see, I graduated high school in 74, John Marshall High School in LA, went into junior college, all the suffering and stuff. And listen, without firemen and women, people, you know, we're all burning up in the craziness. We're checking to make sure it's all done right, right? But now, and I've got pictures by my good friends here, Dave Kilmer, healthy doctor, died of lymphoma at 52. These people inspire me. Why eating rare to raw fattiest meat you can and having faith in God, whether it's Jesus, Muhammad, Moses, Abraham, doesn't matter. It's somehow the most radical thing ever. So ultimately, you mentioned when COVID happened, your tumor got bigger, right?
Yes.
So what is the ultimate cause of all these diseases, including cancer?
Well, the ultimate cause is metabolic dysfunction, low ATP output, and systemic inflammation.
All right, I'm gonna counter with that's not true. Please don't take it personally.
Okay. Yeah, I won't.
It's not metabolic disorder, it's inflammation.
Basically, the one word answer is chronic inflammation. Yeah.
Well, acute and chronic inflammation, because if someone eats a peanut and has an anaphylactic reaction that kills them, was that chronic or acute?
That was acute.
Right. And so my bet is it's all a mixture, because how many people died of COVID that had cancer or inflammation already? A lot, right?
Yeah.
Is this a pretty plant?
Beautiful.
Isn't
I love
it?
it.
We love it, and we've been taught to eat it, right? And
yeah.
And we've been taught. What have we been taught about this stuff?
Bad.
For you.
Causes cancer.
Bad, right?
Bad.
Bad, good, bad, right? And so when we use the word carbohydrate, what is a carbohydrate?
A plant.
And this is what you're talking about. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the same thing we're made of.
And so minimizing, can you eat some plants sometimes and be healthy?
Sure.
Yeah. So eat the meat is kind of what you're saying. And faith, fatty meat, fasting, and be addicted to life. But think of addiction. Again, is addiction actually a truth of who we are? Or are we just a human being that's living in a world that's completely unnatural?
It's that. We're just humans living in a poisoned world.
Dr. Nelson and Alia, are we getting some questions, comments?
Yeah, we got some questions. Well, we got 2 questions so far, but I'm sure we'll get more. Lexi Jones, what are all of your thoughts using a GLP-1 to stay consistent on keto carnivore?
That's for me or the doctors?
For everybody.
Well,
Dan, I want Dan's answer first, because he's Dr. Google, and God forbid if anyone goes to Dr. Google. I agree with you, Dan. Go ahead.
So the GLP-1s, it was interesting. I told you I listened to Dr. Siwas this morning while I was doing my workout, and I'm amazed at all these guests I listen to. That's why I told Dr. Kiltz, I can't even believe I'm sitting here, because the guy the other day, the meat fueled mass guy, the guy from New Jersey, Dan,
afraid to show his face. Afraid to show his face because money has become his master.
Yeah. So I explore these guys after I see them on your show, and I get so much out of all of them. But to the question here, the GLP-1s, I don't have a lot of knowledge in that like Dr. Siwas does, but I would suggest listening to that one with him. I just think it's all unnecessary, which most of modern pharmacology is unnecessary, because all you got to do is eat the meat. Just like Chafee says, just eat meat. So that's my answer.
Dr. Nelson, GLP-1s, good to keep, what is it to keep us?
Consistent on keto carnivore. For most patients don't need it. Like many medications, they can be useful on a very selected number of patients, but in general,
Well,
it's not needed.
Okay, so is fat and obesity pathologic? It is not.
Oh.
It is a state of existence for famine, war. What are the odds that war is going to hit your life?
When I say some people may benefit from it, I'm talking about people who are still dealing with diabetes, not talking
if you simply,
using it for obesity.
Right, but if you
So
go carnivore, again, we live in a world that we drive cars and airplanes and all these things, so you can use it. But is our problem just our diet of cooked, rendered lean meat and plants? And even most carnivores are focused on being skinny. Is it better to be skinny in a sickness or famine or fat? Dan?
Fat.
And Alia, like,
yes,
do men want skinny women or curved women?
my husband keeps telling me to stop trying to lose weight.
Fuck yes, you're a beautiful woman. And ultimately, we're brainwashed by the diet world. The world of you should be the same as Twiggy, right? Which is all basically a lie.
Anorexia.
You're perfect. But GLP-1s, okay, look, I use them in my business because people want them. I'm not here to tell you you can't use them, but you're a carnivore. And the best way to eat meat is what?
Raw.
Raw fatty meat. And I agree with Dr. Nelson, we use them. And okay, so is type 2 diabetes caused by your diet or your DNA?
It could be a component of both, but I would say mainly diet.
Well, are you a land animal, a bird, or a fish?
Land animal.
Okay, how long can you exist flying in the air or swimming underwater?
Not long.
Right? You could jump so far before you fall to the ground, but ultimately, we've been duped by the diet world of the masters of marketing. And obesity is not a pathologic condition. It's a survival mechanism of our ancient past.
So I have a point to bring up here. I think because I hear you talk a lot about this. I'm assuming you're talking about if you go to the interviews with Sean O'Meara, he talks about a lot about the visceral fat and the subcutaneous healthy fat and the dangerous visceral fat. So you're probably referring to building up that healthy layer of subcutaneous fat, which you would pull upon in a famine, or is that correct? Or
what does your body make itself that's harmful for you? Nothing.
I would hope nothing, right?
Nothing. Okay, so if you're a bear that needs to gain 1,000 pounds before hibernation, is it not making visceral fat?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Look, there's not. Remember, we say obesity is the cause of disease, but it's a sign that you're likely living in a plant protein, low animal fat world. And we're blaming your visceral fat on disease, but in fact, it causes no disease. Because when the liver makes fat, because that's the job of the liver, it deposits it in the liver, in the viscera, and in the subcutaneous and intramuscular, right? Your body makes all these things but we've made a complicated story of money making. Okay, I love Sean Amara. Okay, you need an MRI to tell you you have fat in your viscera? How much does that cost?
Well, he was saying how it would be $250. I think you could get that scan done for the abdomen.
Right on. Again, but do you not already know you have visceral fat because everyone does?
Sure.
Every time I operate on a belly, I see all the intra-abdominal visceral fat, omental fat. I see it all. It's not the cause of disease.
I have a question. So if you're consuming high carb diet or an animal fat based diet, would you think those fats would distribute equally under both conditions, or would there be different distributions? And then, you know what I mean? Less visceral distribution, more, I don't know.
Okay, so the body makes fat because you don't eat fat. If you ate fat, and fat, by the way, is the white stuff from an animal, it's not the rendered lard, tallow, or ghee. Okay? And it certainly is not a plant oil. All right? So when your liver makes fat out of amino acids and sugars via insulin, it delivers it to the liver, makes it in the liver first, and then it delivers it to the viscera, to the subcutaneous layers, and the intramuscular layers. Again, is there intramuscular fat in this ribeye steak?
Yes, very much so.
Is that pathologic or physiologic and biologic?
Well, since I heard they're feeding the cows Skittles and Snickers bars now, it could be pathological.
No. When a cow eats a plant, the plant's made of what? Glucose.
Starch.
Glucose.
Yeah.
All right. A piece of candy is made of what? Glucose.
Glucose.
Okay. So it's just more concentrated. Ultimately, when it's broken down in the digestive tract, it's still sent to the liver via insulin, converted into very low density lipoproteins or fat. Right? So why would it do anything pathologic with it? Why would it say, this is bad and I'm going to put it in viscera? Makes no sense.
So could you say it's not pathological because it's preparing for famine, but does it become pathological when the famine never happens?
Well,
now you have
no. It's not pathologic because the plants contain heroin, cocaine, marijuana, lectins, oxalates, glutens, latex. Are those harmful for you?
Yes.
Okay, so we're blaming the fat and obesity and telling people use a GLP-1 and get skinny. But my friend Dave Kilmer was the most healthiest guy in the world. He was not obese and fat. Were you?
No, I thought I was healthy.
You better believe it, because obesity and fat is trying to protect you, but you keep on eating. The plant protein-centric world. Is a protein powder good for you?
No.
It's deadly. Okay? Let's not mince words. What does Chafee say? Eat the fatty meat.
Just eat meat.
Shut the F up. Right? And so again, we're all trying to get likes and subscribers and buy my stuff. All of us, by the way. I'm not chastising anyone. And but everyone wants to be, everyone wants to look like a Chafee or Baker, right?
Yeah.
My grandmother was a fat Italian woman, lived 104.
Pre-toxin era.
Oh, she smoked and drank. She smoked Pall Malls and drank martinis and Manhattans every day. Is that toxic? When was Coca-Cola developed?
100 and something years ago now, probably.
In the Civil War, post-Civil War.
Yeah.
and ultimately the toxins are around, but GLP-1s are also cancer causing potentially and suicidal causing. Again, you can take them in a short amount of time, I guess, but now they want you to take them your entire life. And Oprah Winfrey is a massive investor in that world.
Yeah.
Questions, Alia?
We got this one. What is the cause of disease?
Two-word
He went
answers.
over it
Chronic
when he was
inflammation.
explaining inflammation.
Yeah, I don't know if she heard it at the time.
Being alive. Being alive. We're going to die. So, Daniel, do you know that being a carnivore means you're going to live to 150?
No, but the years I do live are going to be completely amazing compared to all the poisoned people. I just wish more people would see it and try it.
Well, but you're sharing the wisdom and the word to help those suffering, but each and every human being must go through their journey, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ,
Yes,
how many people find him the moment they're born or find them later in life? Who creates everything?
God creates everything.
Does he, she, it know what it's he, she doing?
Say again?
Does it know what it's doing?
It being...
God. Does God know what God's doing?
Yeah, God's omniscient.
Right on. So everyone's doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing, even Sean and you know, Mara and Chafee and Baker,
Sure.
and Daniel and Ali and all of us, and Dr. Nelson.
Yes. Yeah. There's so much information out there. You just got to get through it and discern and figure out what you want to explore and do it. So I'm always encouraging people, trying to, with my family, they probably find me quite annoying, but I'm always trying to get people to try something new.
Do something new. Do something new.
Right.
Rather than try, how do we encourage everyone?
Well, be an example. Be an example, number one. So, yeah, I mean, that's why I'm kind of thrilled about this talk, because I'll be sending it to my family, and maybe someone will get inspired and do something different.
Which happens when we're supposed to. Dr. Nelson, I can see. Go.
Next question when you have a chance.
This is for Dan. Do you like dairy, or do you eat dairy?
I do. I love everything. There's nothing I don't love. So I do some cheeses. I've kind of broken the cheese addiction. I can control it now. I have a little piece of hard Parmesan or whatever. I can do with or without it now. So I'm very happy with the cheese component. I make my own yogurt, which I'm trying to go without right now. I ran out of my last batch, so I'm in a little experimentation here with this whole OMAD 1 meal a day thing without my yogurt. Because when I got it, I'll eat 2 cups a day, one with each of my meals, and I would eat 1 cup if I was on OMAD. And I might go back to it at some time, but I'm just testing out right now. But my one fail is the white liquid cocaine that's in my fridge right now, which is heavy cream, which I'll put a couple tablespoons in my coffee right now. And I'm trying to figure out if it's negative or not. So I do a little time on and the time off, and I haven't really found that it's negative for me. So I'm praying that it stays that way and doesn't show any evidence of negativity, because it's a drug.
As you think, so shall it be.
True.
I'm addicted is a label that is untrue, but you create it. And the same thing with cream as a poison. It is healthy for me. I eat vegetables. Yeah. It is healthy for me, and I am happy and joyous. Again, faith is the word, and every word you think creates the life you live. Read The Meme Machine, Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton. The idea here is that we have no addictions except those propagated by the masters that want to control us, right? Because, again, judge not lest ye be judged, right?
True.
And so I always ask the question, who creates everything? God, because he loves us, right? So
True.
Cream is made by whom?
By God.
Right. So heroin, cocaine, marijuana, nicotine, caffeine, and alcohol is made by who?
God.
Right. So does he forgive us for the indiscretions that we may have done? But we're not judging anyone else, neither ourselves, but simply love.
Sure.
So I have addiction. I'm addicted to one thing. Lives with all of you, my brothers and sisters, right?
Sure. That's why I like hanging around with you. I always get nothing but positivity coming out of you.
If you haven't read Leo Buscaglia, you got to read his stuff. I mean, he was in the era of the 70s, early 80s, maybe, but he was just Dr. Love. He shared love and kindness. He was Italian. He loved his mama, Italian food. He died of a heart attack. And, well, we're all going to die and wonder how we die. But again, this is we're sharing the message and the wisdom and the words of the gods. But yeah, carnivore 17 months, lion diet the last 4. I feel amazing. My massage therapist says the reduction in inflammation in my body is miraculous. Kathleen White. Is it miraculous or is it
what it's supposed to be?
It's normal in the right use of our food.
But isn't truly a miracle? I mean, miracles happen all around us when we just open our and you don't have to be a carnivore. You could be an herbivore even. And ultimately we are omnivores.
Sure. Yeah. Miracles are quite evident when you get into this biology of ours. That's one thing that stands out through all my learnings over the last several years is the amazing, miraculous awesomeness of our biology. Just, it's mind-blowing.
Alia, did you see the study that I sent you on ice cream?
We posted it, yeah. But we're going to find the study and do some more about that.
Ice cream is now considered a superfood by science. Harvard studied regular ice cream eaters for 40 years and found people who eat ice cream twice a week have a significantly lower risk of developing diabetes. The study tracked 190,000 people, and the benefits of ice cream were clear. Real ice cream is
okay.
Is it Kiltz?
I don't know, but remember, as you think of the food you eat, it will do the good or the harm as you think it will.
Right.
Sure.
And I enjoy some ice cream, even if I get it at like the Height ice cream place in Sarasota, or I make it myself, or I don't eat it, or I have it from time to time. Oh my God, I had a martini last week, or some French fries last week. Oh my God. Are
sure.
they going to kill me? No, because I never label them that way. But what do I eat? What does Kiltz eat mostly?
Ribeye.
And how does he usually eat it?
Rare to raw.
And is the fat the most important part to eat?
Yes.
Yes.
100%. And most carnivores cut it away or rendered it, and they eat a low animal fat diet. They don't know it.
That's right. Dr. Kiltz, do you have an ice cream that's actually healthy? I love ice cream, Chris says, but the good doctor told me it's like poison, so I try to avoid it. But man, is it ever hard. Make it at home. Don't you have a
Well, because they're lying to us. they're lying to you because in essence, small amounts of sugar are not the cause of your disease sometimes, but it's a constant addition of the fake sugars and eating overcooked meat and thinking negative and judging others in any other way other than love.
Right on.
All right, next question. Let's see.
I have a question before you go to the next question, but what were your eating habits when you were at the firehouse?
Well, in
Good question.
1985, they were a little different than 2010. So yeah, it went through the whole progression that society in general did. A lot of red meat and potatoes in the 80s, and then I saw the transformation going through to where it went to like chicken breast, same thing that, you know, happened in regular society. A lot of vegetables and chicken breast, but always treats and sugary stuff around also. So, you know, we thought we were eating healthy, but we really weren't. Lean meats and low fat. I remember making mashed potatoes in the firehouse, and they would take the country crock tub and with the big commercial serving spoon, take like 2 scoops of that and throw it in the mashed potatoes, probably a full cup or more. And I remember one day looking and thinking, why do we do that? You know, but we just did, because that's what you did. You threw a bunch of country crock into the mashed potatoes. So it's no wonder I got cancer, right? Just the way we did it.
Well,
but it did evolve.
You were gifted in order to tell a story and help others heal.
Sure.
That's what my friend Dave, my friend Dave, my friend, other friend, good friends, one of them is Jim Slotnick, who wrote a book, A Short Life, taught me. He died at 28 of glioblastoma. His story lives on in the stories we tell of our brothers and sisters who have passed, but those who are currently here today, because it's ultimately our job to share your story. So that's why we're all supporting Healing Humanity, Carrie Mann, Adam Lacey, but ultimately it's crowd community funded. We're funding it all, right? They're just the tellers of our story to put it out there, but we're doing it all together as one. Like Christ said, all is one.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody listening and can relate when we say how many beautiful people we've watched die early from, you know, these diseases. It's sad.
Well, who determines when we die?
God.
All right. Remember, there's stories of heroes to be told to our brothers and sisters throughout time. Don't get distracted.
Sure.
Next question.
Next question. Let's see. What reactions have you gotten from your doctors and family?
Haha. Well, for the most part, my family thinks I'm insane, but same as the doctors. Oh, well, it's working for you, but no real interest in trying it. I've gone back and forth with my doctors. My regular guy for my yearly saw my cholesterol go up, and I said, good, that's what I'm shooting for. So he questioned me about, oh, you're doing these alternative diets? And I said, absolutely. And he kind of backed down after that. So I'm anxious to see where my levels are at this summer when I go in. But
do those levels matter?
No, like I told him, Good.
No.
I want my LDL up there.
Well,
He thought I was crazy.
But if you eat this way and eat less frequently, whatever the number is, again, we're always going to get a diagnostic testing, and I've been through it where I'm like, oh, when in fact most people that keep on, even in the carnivore world, they keep on questioning and doing and like, oh my God. And again, who controls it all?
God.
And I know the dude Jesus Christ died at what age?
33.
All right. And why did they kill him?
Because he said he was God.
Okay. And so his simple story is that we are him. Right?
Sure. We shine his light. We carry his righteousness.
But did he learn from Buddha and all the brothers and sisters before him?
No. He learned from his father.
Because all of us are the fathers. That was his parable and his story, to share the simplicity of God is all of us. That's why he said the meek shall inherit the earth. What he was saying is you don't have to be a king or the head of anything. He is in you. That's all the dude said. He's a storyteller. And our job is simply emulate the same story. But remember, judge not lest ye are judged. That's all he said. And judge with love.
Absolutely.
Because if you go back 50,000 years ago, who was the storyteller then? God.
God.
Yes. But they just had different names. And we're confusing Jesus with the only name of God. But Daniel, Alia, Robert, Nelson, and all of our brothers and sisters here are the same, are they not? Isn't that what Jesus told us?
I believe so.
There's a simplicity, but is he not the Lion of Judah? And lions eat what?
Meat.
Meat.
Sure.
All right, what does Sandy win today?
She won a Kiltz Mighty Tribe cap, baseball cap. They look great on everybody.
And Daniel, so how are you continuing to share your message, and where can people find you?
Well, I'm not an influencer or anything on the internet. Well, I guess I am now, right?
You are, my brother.
But I don't do any podcasting or anything. I basically don't even like technology. So I just tune in and I listen to people and just gather information and then try to share that in my personal life with my friends and families, strangers, whoever I run into. I'll talk your ear off on the subject. So
Do you drive a car?
Yes.
Do you ever fly in an airplane?
I did.
Do you ever use this device?
Oh yeah.
That's technology, right?
That's what?
It. Technology, all of it. We love technology. We love it. And I would say that you are it's so important to continue sharing your story like this. And we're going to have you on more in Carnivore Conversations with Kiltz and Nelson and Alia and all of our brothers and sisters. We are here to keep getting ridiculed.
Sure.
Do you ever get yelled
I'm up for it.
Oh,
I'm up for it.
I got to press the end.
All right. We love everyone. Keep following us.